again. Welcome to Pony for Woolen podcast, and it's episode 20. We've hit another milestone, and yet we have yet to fail spectacularly. I'm surprised. But this week, joining me are Art Fan.
Hello, everyone.
And Lord Funky Fist.
Hi.
And of course, I'm Nemesis, as you're probably well aware. And we have yet another episode to talk about because, well, another one premiered. So that's what we usually do. It's going to be the last one for a couple weeks. We're going to have to, entertain you with other things. But
I've
first,
got my
we
keys
got some
ready.
quick hits. So let's get right down to business. To start us off, Hot Topic has jumped into the pony comic craze and now have their own variant covers of issue 1 and 2 up for pre-order. They feature Vinyl Scratch and Doctor Who's with Derpy. And of course, we'll send you a link to that if you haven't already found it. An app has been released for Android devices called Window to Equestria. It allows fans to have a 3D pony hanging around using augmented reality. Check it out on the Google Play Store. And that works because how it does is you actually print out an image and then you point your Android device, tablet, or phone at it, and it'll kind of show the pony in real life through the camera. It's pretty cool. Moving on, though. Double Rainboom, a fan-made episode of My Little Pony, has a new promo revealing the progress of the project as well as a 1-minute teaser. And currently they're aiming for an early 2013 release after being delayed a little. Megan McCarthy has revealed an alternate ending to Wonderbolt Academy on Twitter. In it, Rainbow Dash and Lightning Dust switch places, so Rainbow Dash is the lead pony and Lightning Dust is the wing pony. And it also reveals that Dash won a medal for best in class. You can check both of those out on her Twitter.
And also, they were on
Most of you
Mars the
probably
entire time.
Mars, not the moon, though. And last week we talked about the new episode Keep Calm and Flutter On, and it now has a synopsis. Princess Celestia tasked the ponies with reforming Discord, a mischievous spirit of disharmony, but Fluttershy is the only one willing to give him a chance. And on top of that, Megan McCarthy says that she'll reveal the original and more plot-revealing title after the episode airs on the 19th.
All right.
So yeah, it's something we've all been waiting for. Discord's return.
Bring on Q. We need Q.
Discord here. Shame on you.
He'll always be Q to me.
You dirty Trekkie.
Go back to the Enterprise.
Which one? There's 5.
Well, whichever one's closest.
See?
6 if you count the Enterprise TV show.
Well, 7 if you include the
That's the one
1970s
you should
Christmas
go to.
specials. And
Yeah.
Oh, God. And finally, another episode has its title and synopsis revealed. It's called Just for Sidekicks and it will air on January 26th. The synopsis is as follows. Spike finds himself in over his head after convincing Twilight and her friends to let him pet sit all of their critters in exchange for a few gems. So once again, Spike getting in over his head.
yeah, because how is he going to get those gems for all those ponies in his My Little Pony game?
Exactly. I mean, have you seen how much they cost? Eesh. But anyway, speaking of Spike, we just had a Spike episode, and that's what we're here to talk about for the most part.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was called Spike at Your Service, and, well,
Yeah, it's Spike.
it was basically...
Servicing.
Yeah, it was about Spike and, well, Applejack. Basically, it starts off, well, Spike wanders off after, because Twilight says she doesn't need his help, and he wanders off, and he accidentally knocks a balloon loose, and he chases it down, winds up in the Everfree Forest, gets chased by Timberwolves, and then Applejack's there to save him, and, well, she fights them off, and, well, he finds himself indebted to her, and now he says that he has to, well, pay her back because she saved his life.
You know
so,
the...
according to his...
you know the duties. Yeah. Seen this before.
According to his little moral code, or noble code, or whatever. So he starts doing little things. So Applejack at first just kind of tells him to help clean up a pig, but he insists he has to keep helping her. But as he tries to help her, he just makes more and more of a nuisance himself, which just bothers Applejack. So she's trying to get rid of him, and she goes around to all of her friends trying to figure out what to do. And Twilight finally comes with a plan of, let's just make it so it look like that
You saved his life.
Make it so he saves her life, so that he thinks his debt is repaid. And the problem was it fails, but then Timberwolves really attack for real, and he does actually save her life, and they finally, it's like, they talk a bit about how, you don't have to do that, you don't have to do this whole indebt your life to me thing, and episode ends. Very straightforward. So
hey, episode over.
Yeah, like, no. So I'm just curious, guys, what do you think, starting with Art Fan?
I will be honest, I didn't care too much for the episode. Spike truthfully isn't one of my favorite characters, so to have an episode centric on him just didn't feel, it just really wasn't for me. And
Spike isn't one of my favorite ponies.
Yeah, Spike is not best pony. And some of the other main characters that I do like weren't in it as much, like Fluttershy or Twilight, and it just felt like subpar to me. I didn't care too much for it.
Oh,
okay. El Funko Fist, what do you think?
I actually really liked it because it's when reading the synopsis of it before, or like and seeing the synopsis and everything, I kind of knew what was gonna happen, like play by play, and for the most part, it hits almost every single note of like other shows that have done something similar to this. But I think the little thing that I guess that made it enjoyable was just that it had lots of really funny like jokes in between all of it, like the whole part with them faking that Timberwolf attack. For some reason, I don't know, I was just laughing throughout all that just because of the combination of just how it looked and how they were all acting during it. And I don't know, like I just found that like really funny. And then I don't know, it just had like lots of little like things that just kind of, I guess, kept it from just being like play by the numbers, kind of episode that we usually see to like, to fill in between like the bigger episodes.
Okay. Personally, I'm still kind of mixed about it. I mean, ever since I watched it, I've been just kind of like, I'm still not sure what to think. On one hand, it's like Spike seems kind of off. I mean, it's already been established. He's Twilight's assistant. He helps around the library. And he has cooked before and cleaned without any problems. Suddenly he has a whole bunch of problems when he's helping with Applejack.
Not only that, but he's practically stalking Applejack. It's just like...
Yeah, it's just this whole... I mean, the other characters, the main six themselves, they were all written great. I mean, every single one of them was like, had perfect delivery and stuff. It's just... a lot of the jokes were funny, but the main story itself was just kind of... I didn't really like. And I like all this side stuff, but not the actual main plot point or Spike himself. In fact, it's just... Spike felt really out of character and everything, and just kind of felt weird.
I thought the ending was pretty predictable too. Spoiler. Oh, Spike saves Applejack's life, so the only way to, Applejack saves Spike's life, so the only way to repay it is to have him save her life. We've seen that done before. It's just like, that's kind of old hat for cartoons.
Well, a lot of these episodes have cliche things, but the thing is, most of them at least find a new way to do it, or at least make it enjoyable, even if it is cliche. This one just kind of felt very by the numbers, more so than others. But
well, I agree with what Funky said. It just kind of felt like a filler episode between other good episodes.
And another thing, so I've noticed, this episode in particular has been pretty divisive in the fandom. People have been saying it's the worst one so far. Others have been saying I really enjoyed it, and it's all sorts of reactions in between. It's just like most of the episodes at least find a general consensus, or at least a majority opinion. This one seems to still just kind of like no one really knows what to think of it.
Yeah, like I didn't really think about that until you said it now, and I'm like, I guess you do bring up a point, but I guess I didn't really think about that like before. I mean, like, while I was watching it and then afterwards, but I don't know, like overall, I still say like, I enjoyed it, but yeah, I can see what you mean about I think we've already established that Spike can kind of do stuff competently, but I don't know.
Yeah, so far I've seen a couple people try to excuse it, like, oh, he was just nervous because he was trying to make sure to make a good impression and failing. And it's like, I don't know. It seems pretty flimsy. But another thing a lot of people complained about was the CGI they used for the Timberwolves, because they've never really done that sort of thing before in this show. So
yeah,
it really stood out. I mean, it was pretty obvious, like, that's CGI. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say, as a lot of people said, it was outright bad. I wouldn't go as far as to say, but it definitely felt out of place. But it kind of helped. When you think about it, though, the Everfree Forest is kind of supposed to be this kind of otherworldly place, so
yeah,
kind of helps with the feel of it.
I mean, we're not talking about like reboot CG or anything like that. I mean,
oh god,
or what was the Beast Wars or anything? It wasn't like, it was good, but I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, like I noticed it immediately, but it wasn't like a bad way. I was just like, oh, you know, like I've never seen them do like this kind of 3D stuff in My Little Pony, and if it was like very small touches, but I guess it's like the first like big like model that they've done like that.
This is why they only have 13 episodes. They blew their entire budget on CG.
But I can see why they did it, because the Timberwolves are kind of like 3-dimensional with how they're shaped, because they're made up of sticks and leaves and like pieces of wood. So I think maybe like it would have looked a lot better like that, other than I guess trying to keep it 2D.
Right. Art, it sounded like you're trying to say something.
Well, what I was gonna say was, as far as like, you know, the forest being a mystical place and all that, yeah, I get that, but I really did not care for the Timberwolves themselves. I didn't like how they were designed. I thought they looked out of place, like just very not belonging in this world. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, granted, then again, it is a show about magical ponies running around, but even still, I mean,
and riding balloons every now and then.
Yeah, it just seemed like they didn't fit. They just kind of irked me. It was like every time I saw them, I was like, there was something off about having them there.
Well, they didn't appear before back in
the app. I forgot the one with Granny Smith.
Family Appreciation Day.
Yeah, there you go.
That was it. But that time they were actually traditionally animated.
Yeah,
Flash animated.
When they first appeared and we didn't really see them again, I just kind of assumed that they were just like organic beings, but just kind of had the properties of tree bark, but they're actually, you know, like living flesh, but just have like rough skin. But in here, I guess they show that they're actually made of magic, and I don't know. That kind of had me like, oh, like I don't know how to think about that. I mean, because
some sort of weird golem thing, I guess.
Yeah, because I don't think we've seen many other kind of magic creatures like that. Everything else that we've seen so far has been alive. But this one's like one of the first, like, it just looks like it's just like possession. And
yeah.
I don't know.
They're made of brushwood. Just light a match under them.
Yeah, that brings me to another thing. Me and a lot of other people just kind of thought about it. I was like, why didn't Spike just light him on fire? He's a dragon.
He was nervous.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Plus, it might be, if I recall, his fire doesn't actually have that much range, so you'd have to get in really close.
He was in close plenty of times.
I know, but then again, he might just not have been thinking about it, or just maybe his fire doesn't work when he's nervous. Who knows? Like, there's a myriad of reasons you could say. He is just a kid.
True.
So he just might have not thought, oh wait, I can breathe fire.
Clearly he didn't get fired up during the ordeal.
Oh, you had to do that.
I did. I have to fulfill my quota.
No.
No.
I missed last week, so I got catching up to do.
Anyway, one thing I did, like I said before, I did like a lot of the little jokes and stuff that were throughout, even if the main story itself was not so. I just liked the little bit with the flour and the mop water and the mop sticking to the ceiling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also liked the little bit with Twilight just going, uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've done that before.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Rarity, just like, I'd love this. I'd love it if I had someone in my personal servant or whatever.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, like, she seems the kind of pony to just, would like to just basically have a slave the entire time. I mean, she pretty much treats Sweetie Belle like that anyway, so. Because that's very ladylike, right?
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make someone else get their hands dirty. Pinkie Pie and her little mustache thing.
Yeah, like
That was pretty fun.
the
I like
first
that.
time it got, like it was kind of spoiled because I think they showed it in the commercial. So when they showed it, I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, like that's from the commercial. And then
The mustache.
yeah, then like later on they showed it again. Like she was like quickly wearing it, and I don't know.
Yeah, I just like she didn't even say anything that time. She just looks with the mustache on.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So I was like, oh, like yeah, they bringing it back like that real quick was a really nice little touch.
Yeah. So little clever jokes here. Yeah, like I said, the problem was the jokes were just connected by a kind of a story that didn't fit the character. I think that was the biggest complaint was they wrote the character to fit the story, not the story to fit the character.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like I said before, I still really don't know how to feel about that because, like I said, parts I've enjoyed, other parts I did not. And I would honestly, though, say definitely because of that is probably the weakest episode of the season, at least, so far, in my opinion. Because, yeah.
Not too.
Maybe.
I don't know if I feel the exact same way, but yeah.
Unlike, say, what was it? One Bad Apple. At least that had the song. Even if I would have said that before, that was probably the weakest, but it had the song to help it. This one doesn't have a song to help it, so.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the Timberwolves again. I just at the end when they reformed into that massive Timberwolf, and that was pretty cool looking, in my opinion, and also kind of fun. After Spike chucked the rock down his throat, it's just it coughs and it kind of holds out its paw like 1 second.
Yeah. Which now that I think about that, it just kind of brings up the question, like, so, like, I know that for, like, a little while ago, I was saying, like, also, I guess, basically, they're, like, possessed wood, but with that, I guess they're implying that they need to breathe, especially with the fact that they have, like, smelly breath, like Spike said, so...
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that just makes it even more confusing about what exactly they are.
I guess it's just some sort of creature. The only way to really kill them is fire.
Yeah, there's anything, the thing has taught us is fire is the only way to make sure everything is destroyed for sure.
Nuke it from orbit. Yeah, when they showed the clip and they showed Applejack like pelting them with rocks and stuff and them falling apart, it's like, holy crap, Applejack's killing these things.
Yeah.
On a kid's show.
Like, oh no, never mind, they're coming back together.
Okay. I was like, dang, they're actually showing things being killed. I was surprised.
But then I'm like, wait, so at the end when Spike kills that thing, kills the Timberwolf, like that thing from Coneheads, I was like, why, like, what's it to say that it's not going to just keep doing that? Like, what if it just keeps collecting all the logs from the Everfree Forest and just makes, like, one giant, like, just like a Godzilla monster, and...
Oh, jeez.
Then everyone has to call it the Spears of Harmony, and then build their giant battle borgs, and...
Okay.
So that just turns into a sword, and
It's just like one of my Japanese anime. I guess the one thing I gotta say is, I guess relating to the rest of the stuff, like that overarching story they've sort of been having throughout the season of Twilight and her destiny and whatnot, they kind of helped hint at it a little bit more with like having Celestia reading, or having Celestia have Twilight read
all those books.
A bunch of all those books. It's like, yeah, they've been kind of, it wasn't as, now that we're coming close to the end of the season, they didn't have as much of the overarching story thing as I thought they would, but they've still been hinting at it. And considering that we still don't know 2 of the episodes, I'm willing to bet that it's going to be a two-part finale or something, and that's where we're finally going to get our answers about what the heck was with that black book in the first episode.
The 2 episodes are going to be just Twilight reading more books.
Oh. I'm okay with this.
Interesting.
And every now and then someone coming in to talk to her and she goes, uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's it.
And then wings. I mean, no.
The last second just sprouts wings and that's it.
Oh! It's My Little Pony. Wait. That would be kind of funny, actually. But, yeah, because of course, we started off with the Crystal Empire, and then in Too Many Pinkie Pies, we get the hidden compartment with the book. The book returns in Magic Duel, which, again, was another Twilight-centric episode, although Trixie was there as well. Then we got in Wonderbolt Academy, Applejack kind of offhandedly mentions that Celestia has Twilight learning a bunch of new spells, and now we got these books in this episode, and he's like, kind of, yeah, they're kind of weaving it. I mean, there's not a lot, but there's something there at least, so I'm excited for the finale.
Yeah.
The finale should definitely be interesting.
Whatever it is.
It's gonna be another wedding. I can already see it.
Predatory spelling. If only 4-string were here. Anyway, I don't think there's much else we can say about this episode, is there?
No, well, I don't have much else to say.
I don't think so. It was nice to see like last week we had an Applejack centered episode, and then this week it's like Spike with Applejack. So it's like 2 episodes in a row we're seeing a lot more of her.
Yeah. I have to say once again, she actually has some pretty funny faces when they let her have them.
Yeah.
So next week we're going to see Fluttershy, or not next week, a couple weeks because it's not until the 19th. We're going to see Fluttershy.
Next episode.
Supposedly. I'm a lot of Fluttershy, so.
I'll be there.
Discord.
Fluttershy is my favorite pony.
Yeah, Fluttershy and Discord. This sounds like Art's episode.
I am so there. I'll be wearing my Starfleet uniform in honor of Q. So.
Oh, God. What are you doing?
No. I don't have a Starfleet uniform. Starfleet
That would
Academy,
be crazy. Just looks off into the closet. That would be crazy if I did.
Indeed. Yeah. So
it's like a uniform with like Fluttershy's cutie mark on it instead.
Yeah, instead of the Starfleet logo, it's just her cutie mark.
That's all we have for the episode. Since we don't have any fan content, thanks to no 4-string and me being really busy since the last one, and so I haven't been able to find any fan fiction. So
wait, I got it. I got our fan content. Once upon a time, the ponies were just kidding. I was gonna make up a fan fiction on the spot, but I think I'll not subject our listeners to that.
Thank you. Bad. Yes, it would. I don't want to lose all of our listeners.
Twilight full life consequences.
Come on. Who could ignore a fan fiction with Metallica and Star Trek in it? And
I
ponies.
could. But, so anyway.
And Homestuck. I got it in.
And some tribbles.
Anyway, you of course probably found this episode on iTunes or Libsyn or on YouTube. You can find once again, just search on iTunes for us, Pony411, pony411.libsyn.com. youtube.com/pony411. You could find us on Twitter @pony411. You can also like us on Facebook. We're facebook.com/pony411. You can also email us if you got comments or you got news stories or whatever. You can email us at pony411podcast@gmail.com. Our personal Twitter handles, I'm @NemesisPrime1. He's @ArtFan88, and the other he is @LordFunkyFist. That is it for us this week.
Yep, pretty short one.
Hopefully, you'll join us next week for episode 21, Blackjack. We'll finally be able to drink on the episode, even though 4-string already did that.
We'll be able to drink, smoke, and gamble all at the same time.
Exactly. So, until next time, remember, please pony responsibly.
Please.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
There's nothing here. Go home.